Being bi is no longer uncommon in Hollywood, with more and more celebrities coming out. However, you might be surprised to learn about some of the stars who identify as bi, but aren't widely known for it. From Tom Cruise to Angelina Jolie, let me present 38 actors who might just surprise you for being bi. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga openly talked about being bisexual when she first became famous. She shared in interviews that she loves and appreciates people no matter their gender. This honesty made many of her fans feel brave about who they are. She's also well known for her powerful songs like Born This Way, which is all about loving yourself and accepting others. When it comes to her personal life, Lady Gaga has had some high-profile romances, but she's pretty private about the details. She prefers to focus on her music and her charity work, like helping young people who feel alone or bullied. A fun fact about Lady Gaga is that before she got super famous, she used to perform in small clubs wearing wild costumes she made herself. People loved how creative she was, and that spirit never left. She's still one of the most original artists out there, always pushing boundaries and telling everyone it's okay to be different. Megan Fox. Megan Fox came out as bisexual in a magazine interview, saying she believes people can be attracted to both men and women. She didn't shy away from her feelings and emphasized that she hopes everyone can be true to who they are. Megan's words have given many fans courage to speak up about their own identities. In her personal life, Megan has been open about her relationships, but she also knows how to keep certain things private. She's been in the spotlight for her roles in big movies, like Transformers, and for her style, which often grabs attention on the red carpet. One interesting thing about Megan is that she's a huge fan of comic books and science fiction. She's not afraid to show off her nerdy side, which makes her even more relatable to her fans. It proves you can be glamorous and geeky at the same time. Alan Cumming. Alan Cumming has called himself bisexual for many years. You might know him from movies like X2 and shows like The Good Wife. He shared that his attraction is about the person, not just their gender. Alan is happily married to a man, but remains proud of his bisexual identity. A fun fact, he's also a writer and loves doing theater work. Alan's openness reminds fans that being bi doesn't go away just because you're in a committed relationship. Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne revealed she was bisexual on social media a few years back. It happened when a fan asked if she liked girls too, and Bella simply said yes without making a huge deal about it. This simple response got a lot of attention because it felt honest and straightforward. When it comes to her personal life, Bella has been open about dating both men and women. She sometimes shares cute pictures or moments from her relationships online, but she also reminds people that everyone deserves respect. She wants her fans to feel confident about their own choices in love. A fun fact about Bella is that she started her career as a child model and actress on the Disney Channel. Now she's expanded her talents to music and directing. She's never afraid to try something new, and that's what makes her stand out in Hollywood. Clive Davis, music legend. Clive Davis surprised many when he came out as bisexual in his 2013 memoir. After years of working with iconic artists like Whitney Houston and Alicia Keys, he revealed he had relationships with both men and women. Clive never felt the need to announce it earlier, but decided that sharing his truth might help others. His story shows it's never too late to be open about who you are. Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore has talked about being attracted to both men and women, though she doesn't like to put big labels on herself. She shared in interviews that love is about connection and not always about gender. Her gentle way of talking about it has inspired a lot of people to accept their own feelings. Drew's personal life has been in the public eye since she was a child actress. She went through ups and downs, but she learned from her struggles and turned into a successful producer, actress, and author. Even though she's famous, she still feels like the sweet, down-to-earth person you could chat with at a coffee shop. A unique fact about Drew is that she comes from a long line of actors. The acting is in her blood. Her grandfather and great-grandparents were also famous performers. It's almost like she was born to be in front of the camera. David Bowie. David Bowie once told the world he was bisexual back in the 1970s. As a rock star who loved to reinvent himself, Bowie felt comfortable breaking rules about music and fashion, and he didn't shy away from his fluid sexuality either. Over time, he became a symbol of self-expression and creativity. Even though he sometimes gave mixed messages in later interviews, many still see Bowie as a trailblazer who made it easier to talk about being different. Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie mentioned her attraction to both men and women many years ago. She didn't make a big dramatic announcement. She simply spoke honestly in interviews about loving people for who they are. Angelina's openness helped show the world that you can't always fit love into a simple box. In her personal life, she has been in relationships with men and has also talked about a special connection she once had with a woman. While she's often in the news for her movie roles and charity work, she tends to keep the details of her romances pretty quiet. Here's something cool about Angelina. She does a lot of humanitarian work. She has traveled to many countries to help refugees and children in need. This caring side of her shows she's not just a Hollywood star. She's someone who uses her voice to help people all around the world. Halsey. Halsey shared she is bisexual early in her music career, wanting her fans to know she feels love and attraction for both men and women. She's never been afraid to include her real-life feelings in her songs, which makes her music feel honest and powerful. Many people say her openness helped them feel seen and understood. In her personal life, Halsey has been in a few public relationships and sometimes talks about them in interviews or on social media. She believes in being real with her fans, but also protects her privacy when she needs to. Something really cool about Halsey is how creative she is. She doesn't just sing, she also paints, writes poetry, and directs her own music videos. She uses her platform to talk about mental health and social issues, showing everyone that you can be both an artist and an advocate for change. Let's keep exploring more stars who openly identify as bisexual. Their stories show that love can cross all kinds of lines and that being true to yourself can inspire others to do the same. Joe Armstrong. Joe Armstrong, the lead singer of Green Day, talked about being bisexual back in the 1990s. He mentioned in interviews that he believes people can like whoever they want. It caused quite a stir at the time, but Billy never backed down from his feelings. He's been married for many years, yet he still reminds fans that labels can be flexible and fluid. One cool fact about Billy is that he wrote many of Green Day's biggest hits. Some of his songs tackle real-life problems and emotions that many people can relate to. His brave honesty about who he is only adds to his punk rock legend status. Marin Morris. Marin Morris is known for her catchy country and pop tunes. While she's often praised for her strong allyship toward the LGBTQ+ community, some fans also see her as someone who doesn't feel the need to box in her attraction. She likes to keep her personal life mostly private, but she's always stood up for everyone's right to love who they choose. Beyond her music, Marin is famous for speaking her mind on social media. She uses her platform to champion acceptance and kindness. A fun fact about her is that she once sang in tiny bars before bursting onto the country scene with hits like My Church. Her journey reminds us that everyone should feel free to be open, honest, and loving. Andy Dick. Comedian and actor Andy Dick has long been open about his sexuality, describing himself as bisexual. Known for his wild humor on shows like News Radio, Andy has joked about dating both men and women. Although his personal life has had ups and downs, he's never hidden that he's attracted to all genders. His openness helps spark conversations about what it means to identify as bi in Hollywood. Kate Nash. Kate Nash, the singer of fun, quirky pop songs, has hinted at her bisexuality in interviews and through her lyrics. She believes in being true to yourself and not apologizing for who you love. Her openness has given fans the courage to explore their own identities. In her personal life, Kate keeps things pretty low-key, focusing mostly on making music and occasionally acting. She's even appeared in the TV series GLOW, showing she's not afraid to try new things. One interesting tidbit, Kate once taught herself piano on an electronic keyboard after breaking her foot. Her can-do spirit shines through both her music and her honest approach to love. Keiynan Lonsdale. Keiynan Lonsdale, who starred in The Flash and Love, Simon first called himself bisexual on social media. Later, he used labels like queer and fluid, focusing on the freedom to love anyone. Keiynan encourages fans not to feel rushed into a single label. He also sings and writes music that explores love and self-acceptance. His style and positive outlook inspire young people to embrace who they really are. Vanessa Carlton. Vanessa Carlton, famous for her song "A Thousand Miles," came out as bisexual during a performance at a Pride event in 2010. She told the crowd she was proud to be part of the community, and fans cheered her on for speaking up. For many, her words felt comforting and refreshing. When it comes to her relationships, Vanessa doesn't share every detail. She prefers to let her music do most of the talking. However, she has mentioned that love can happen in ways we don't always expect. A unique fact about Vanessa is that she's a classically trained ballet dancer. This passion for dance sometimes shows in her live performances and music videos, making her shows beautiful and full of heart. Anna Paquin. Anna Paquin revealed she was bisexual in a public service announcement in 2010. She didn't dramatize it, she simply stated it because it felt true to her. Fans celebrated her courage, especially since she was starring in the popular show True Blood at the time. In her personal life, Anna has been open about being married to actor Stephen Moyer, yet she never shies away from talking about her attraction to all genders. She believes that being honest helps break down stereotypes. One neat fact about Anna is that she won an Oscar at age 11 for her role in The Piano. This makes her one of the youngest people ever to get such a big award. Alan Cumming. Alan Cumming has been open about being bisexual for many years. He's played all sorts of roles on stage and screen, showing off his wide acting range. He once mentioned in interviews that people are often puzzled by his sexuality, but he believes it's simple. He loves who he loves. Personally, Alan's relationships have included both women and men. He now lives happily with his husband, but he still proudly claims the label bisexual. A fun fact about Alan is that he's not only an award-winning actor, but also a writer. He wrote a memoir that dives into his life, sharing stories of family, identity, and finding joy in who you are. Clive Davis. Legendary music producer Clive Davis came out as bisexual in his memoir, surprising many people in the industry. He wrote about his relationships with both men and women, expressing that it's part of who he is. His confession showed that it's never too late to be honest about yourself. Professionally, Clive discovered and guided the careers of famous artists like Whitney Houston and Alicia Keys. He's been a powerful figure in music for decades. One interesting piece of info: Clive has won multiple Grammy Awards and is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His story proves that you can lead a groundbreaking career while staying true to your heart. Stephanie Beatriz. Stephanie Beatriz, known for her role as Detective Rosa Diaz on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, came out as bisexual in a simple tweet. She said she was already playing a bi character on TV, so she thought it was important to share that piece of her own identity too. Away from the camera, Stephanie is happily married, and she's always speaking up for LGBTQ+ issues. She often talks about how representation in media can help people feel less alone. A cool fact about Stephanie is that she also starred in Disney's Encanto as the voice of Mirabel. She blends humor, talent, and advocacy in everything she does. Sarah Ramirez. Sarah Ramirez, who starred as Callie Torres on Grey's Anatomy, announced they were bisexual during a speech at a 2016 event. Sarah felt it was time to speak out and help others feel safe owning their identity. Fans thanked them for making such a personal declaration. In real life, Sarah is quite private, but they occasionally share about their life and partners on social media. Now, Sarah also identifies as non-binary, showing that identity can grow and change over time. A fun fact about Sarah: they won a Tony Award for their performance in the musical Spamalot. Singing, acting, and advocating, Sarah does it all with heart. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury didn't publicly label himself as bisexual during his lifetime, but he had relationships with both men and women. As Queen's charismatic lead singer, he broke many rules and often played with gender in his stage costumes. He once said he could love a man as deeply as a woman. While we can't be certain how he would label himself today, Freddie's life reminds us that love can take many forms, and great music can bring everyone together. Shannon Purser. Shannon Purser, famous for playing Barb on Stranger Things, came out as bisexual in 2017. She did it on Twitter after some fans asked about her thoughts on LGBTQ+ topics. She wrote that she was new to the idea of labeling her own feelings and was still figuring things out. Shannon likes to keep her personal life private, but she's talked about how tough it can be to balance fame with real emotions. She hopes others see her story and feel less afraid to explore their identity. A unique fact about Shannon is that she also played Ethel Muggs on Riverdale, showing she can handle different roles with ease. Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza once stated in an interview that she falls in love with girls and guys. She's known for her deadpan humor and quirky characters, so when she casually revealed she was attracted to both sexes, fans appreciated her candor. She has dated people of different genders, but she keeps the details low-key. Aubrey likes to focus on her acting, producing, and comedic projects. She's best known for Parks and Recreation, but also appears in indie films that let her unique style shine. One fun tidbit, she used to intern at Saturday Night Live before she became famous, proving she always had a knack for comedy. Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson mentioned she's attracted to both men and women in a 2018 interview. She spoke about how labels aren't always needed, but she's okay being called bisexual or just someone who's open to love in all its forms. She's been linked to a few high-profile romances, but Tessa mostly focuses on her film career, where she's played strong, diverse characters. She's in the Marvel Universe as Valkyrie, a role she helped shape to be proudly queer. A neat fact, Tessa is also a singer and has performed in bands before. Her ambition and openness encourage people to celebrate every side of themselves. Lili Reinhart. Lili Reinhart, known for her role as Betty Cooper on Riverdale, came out as bisexual in 2020. She posted a message on Instagram supporting a Black Lives Matter protest for LGBTQ+ folks and mentioned her own identity. Fans were happy to see her speak so openly. She has dated co-stars in the past, but Lili is pretty private about her love life now. She's also outspoken about mental health and body positivity, reminding fans to treat themselves with kindness. One interesting detail. Lili loves poetry and often shares her own poems. Her honesty about her feelings on paper or online helps others feel accepted and inspired. Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato has spoken about being attracted to both men and women, though they sometimes use the term fluid instead of bisexual. They once mentioned they don't like to put limits on who they can love. This openness has offered big support for many fans who feel the same way. Demi has had a few public relationships, but they also keep some things to themselves. They focus on music and mental health advocacy, hoping to help others who struggle. A fun fact, Demi started acting on Barney and Friends as a kid. Now with multiple hit songs and awards, they continue to spread a message of self-love and acceptance. Nico Tortorella. Nico Tortorella, best known for their role as Josh on the hit TV show Younger, identifies as sexually fluid, a term that often overlaps with bisexuality. Nico has been open about their belief that love and attraction are not confined by traditional labels or societal expectations. In interviews, they've emphasized that they are drawn to people for who they are, not their gender, and have become a passionate advocate for rejecting rigid definitions of sexuality. Beyond their acting career, Nico uses their platform to encourage self-discovery and promote conversations about healthy relationships. They've hosted podcasts and written a memoir where they discuss their journey with identity, love, and self-acceptance. These projects reflect their desire to create spaces where others feel empowered to explore and embrace their authentic selves. Nico's activism extends to the LGBTQ+ community, where they focus on challenging stigmas and stereotypes. Whether through social media posts, public speaking engagements, or their personal life, Nico shows that living truthfully is a form of resistance and a source of inspiration. A unique fact about Nico is their love for tattoos, many of which have deeply personal meanings. Through their multifaceted career and advocacy work, Nico has become a beacon of representation for those who feel like they don't fit into conventional molds. Amber Heard. Amber Heard publicly came out as bisexual in 2010 at a GLAAD event. She said she doesn't want to hide who she is. Her words helped people see that actors in Hollywood can speak their truth and not lose their careers. Amber's personal life has been in the spotlight, but she tries to keep some parts private. She believes in standing up for causes like LGBTQ+ rights and women's equality. Something unique about Amber is that she's fluent in American Sign Language and has supported the deaf community. She reminds fans that you can be both a passionate activist and a successful movie star. Kristen Stewart. When Kristen came out as bisexual in 2017, many people were shocked. She said she's proud to love whoever she loves, no matter if it's a man or a woman. She's been very open about her relationships, which has inspired many fans to feel comfortable about who they are. Kristen isn't just famous for her acting. She's also won big awards, like a Caesar Award, which is like the French version of an Oscar. She's known for her cool, edgy style and choosing unique movie roles. Kristen also speaks out about being yourself and breaking old stereotypes in Hollywood. She's not just an actress, she's a role model for people who want to be proud of who they are, just like she is. Let's continue and shine the spotlight on more stars who identify as bi, pan, or queer. Each has a unique story that reminds us it's possible to love across labels and boundaries. Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus calls herself pansexual and gender fluid, meaning she's open to loving people of any gender. She shared her identity in interviews and social media posts, hoping to support others who feel the same way. Miley's personal life has often been in the news, but she uses her fame to promote being true to yourself. A cool fact is that Miley started her career as the sweet and funny Hannah Montana on Disney Channel. Now she's known for bold, chart-topping songs and speaking up about causes she cares about, like animal rights and youth homelessness. Her openness about who she loves has helped many fans feel braver. Amandla Stenberg. Amandla Stenberg gained fame as Rue in The Hunger Games and came out as bisexual in 2016. Later, they described themselves as gay in 2018. That journey shows how labels can change when people discover more about who they are. They've kept details of their personal life private, but often share their opinions on social issues, especially topics like race and LGBTQ+ rights. A neat fact about Amandla is that they're also a talented musician, playing the violin and singing in videos posted online. Their willingness to grow and be honest encourages fans to explore their own identities without fear. Kehlani. Kehlani calls herself queer and has talked about loving all genders. She mentions her sexuality in interviews and puts it into her music lyrics. Fans appreciate how open she is because it makes them feel understood and welcome. In her personal life, Kehlani sometimes shares glimpses of her relationships on social media, but she also protects her privacy. Beyond music, she's known for speaking about mental health and self-care. A fun fact, Kehlani started singing in a teen group on a TV show called America's Got Talent. Now with hits like Gangsta and Nights Like This, she's a major voice for acceptance. Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson openly said she is attracted to both men and women in a 2018 interview. She explained that she doesn't need strict labels, but is fine if people describe her as bisexual. She's been linked to a few well-known names, but mostly keeps her relationships private. As an actress, Tessa plays strong characters, like Valkyrie in Marvel's Thor, and she's made sure that role is proudly queer too. Did you know she also dabbles in music? Tessa has performed in bands and contributed to movie soundtracks. She reminds us that creativity can be as boundless as love. Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson, best known as Agent Scully from The X-Files, has confirmed she's had relationships with both men and women. She identifies as bisexual, but she rarely made a big deal out of it. She simply believes love is love. Even though she's an iconic actress, Gillian stays modest about her private life. She's a mother, activist, and writer too. She co-wrote a book series called The Earth End Saga. A fun fact, she was once voted class clown in high school. Her mix of humor, talent, and honesty shows you can be a real-life superhero in your own way. Joe Armstrong. Joe Armstrong, the frontman of rock band Green Day, announced his bisexuality in a 1995 interview, explaining he's always been bisexual. He faced some backlash, but he didn't back down, showing that punk rock is also about daring to be yourself. He's been married for a long time, yet he stays open about who he can love. Joe wrote many of Green Day's biggest songs like Basket Case and Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. These tunes connect with fans who see music as an outlet for emotions. His honesty about bisexuality proves that being punk isn't just about rebellion, it's about truth too. Snail Mail, Lindsay Jordan. Lindsay Jordan, who performs as Snail Mail, has spoken about being bisexual in interviews and expresses it through her heartfelt indie music. She writes lyrics that explore love, heartbreak, and self-discovery, connecting with listeners who relate to her honest approach. Lindsay keeps her personal life pretty quiet, but she's proud of her identity. She started making music as a teen, quickly impressing both fans and critics with her guitar skills. One fun fact: Lindsay released her first album, Lush, when she was just 18 years old, proving you can make your mark no matter how young you are, especially if you do it with passion and sincerity. Andy Mentus. Andy Mentus is a Broadway star known for his exceptional talent on stage and screen, especially for his role in the musical TV show Smash. Proudly identifying as bisexual, Andy has been vocal about his journey, often addressing misconceptions about bisexuality. He has shared that some people find his identity confusing, especially because he is married to actor Michael Arden, a man. However, Andy firmly believes that being in a same-sex relationship doesn't erase his bisexuality, and he continues to speak out about the importance of recognizing and respecting all sexual identities. Beyond his performances, Andy uses his platform to support LGBTQ+ youth and advocate for better representation of bisexual characters in media. He believes that storytelling can help normalize diverse identities and break down stereotypes. In addition to acting, Andy is a passionate advocate for mental health and self-acceptance, frequently sharing his personal experiences to inspire others. A fun fact about Andy is that he's also an accomplished writer, having penned a graphic novel series that dives into themes of identity and love. By living authentically and staying true to his beliefs, Andy continues to show that being yourself, no matter who you love, is a powerful and inspiring way to lead. Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter, the pop singer who rose to fame in the early 2000s, with hits like I Want Candy, came out as bisexual in 2017. In a heartfelt letter shared on social media, Aaron opened up about realizing his attraction to both men and women as a teenager. He described his journey of self-discovery as deeply personal and wanted to share his truth to help others feel less alone in their own experiences. Despite facing public scrutiny throughout his life, Aaron's honesty about his sexuality earned him praise from fans and the LGBTQ+ community. His coming out letter highlighted the importance of acceptance and showed that it's never too late to embrace who you are. Over the years, his personal life, including his struggles with mental health and relationships, often made headlines, but Aaron remained committed to being open about his journey. A lesser-known fact about Aaron is his versatility in the entertainment world. He wasn't just a singer, but also dabbled in acting and even appeared on Broadway. Although his life had many ups and downs, Aaron's willingness to speak about his sexuality and identity left a lasting impact, showing that vulnerability and authenticity can make a difference.